If your chunky knit blanket is curling up at the edges like this, don't click away, you're going to want these tips. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Modern Knotwork channel. Today we're starting a common beginner mistakes series, which is essentially the most common questions I receive in my comments section. The first video that we're starting with is, why is my blanket curling up? This is the most common question I get, so let's figure it out together. As I said, this is a very common problem, but fortunately, it's a very easy solution. Let's first figure out what the problem is. So when your blanket is curling up like this, it's generally because the foundation chain is much tighter than the rest of your blanket. Keep in mind that the problem of curling can also be the other way, where the top of your blanket is curling. It's the same problem where you've made your body loops one size and then the edge of your blanket is just way too tight, whether it's your foundation chain or your finishing chain. To solve our problem, we have two potential solutions. The first one is just pulling at your edges to see if you can create a little bit more space to make the blanket equal. I would probably do this if you were far along in your blanket and you were at a point that you didn't want to start over. It's not going to be perfect, but as you can see, even with a little bit of pulling, that curling has calmed down. Now, if your blanket is kind of looking like mine, you're only a few rows in and you're starting to see this curling issue, I would probably just start over. So that would mean ripping it apart and just starting from the beginning. So let's do that together from the beginning. And we'll use this pink color here to make a looser foundation chain together that won't cause that curling. So as we make this foundation chain, we're going to make our starting loops bigger than the loops we would normally make in our blanket. And I'll show you what I mean. A normal size loop for me in my blankets is about 2 finger widths in size. Now for my foundation chain, I always make them a little bit looser. I make it approximately 3 finger widths in size for this exact reason, so that my blanket will not curl up. So let's go ahead and make our foundation chain 3 fingers in size. Once we have our looser foundation chain, let's continue on with the rest of the blanket with our normal sized loops. So that will be roughly 2 fingers in size for the rest of these loops. A new home for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time. So I've gone ahead and completed a couple more rows with our 2 finger loops, and you can see it's just looking a lot more even and cohesive compared to that first example that we had. Now, if you're having the problem where your blanket is actually curling up at the top, you're just going to want to make sure that your final row that you're closing off your loops are looser than your 2 finger loops here. So what we're going to do to finish off is make sure that we've got a nice 3 finger loop and another 3 finger loop, and we close off with our nice loose loops just like we did at the bottom. Enjoy the ride. I know man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. As you can see, I've just finished my final row, and having these looser 3 finger loops at the bottom and at the top really create a more even, cohesive looking blanket. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope that it has solved your problem of your blanket curling up. If you enjoy these beginner style videos, feel free to check out this video linked on the right-hand side of the screen, which is my tips and tricks for getting beautiful straight edges in your chunky knit blanket. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment letting me know what your most common problem is while making your chunky knit blanket. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.